I've really been waiting since I've been in the league to live those moments, those high stakes games. It's the feeling I got before games. That's what I love. I'm built for this, I love this more than anything else.
The San Antonio Spurs have gained 2 wins over the Timberwolves, with the last one being on the road in Game 3, and this man right here is just ridiculous.
They get in the paint right here, Vassell, and then put in with Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, that was the first play of the game, and to open up Game 3, Wemby scored the first 3 buckets, and on this play, if you ever double the ball handler off the pick and roll like Gobert and Randle do, it may do a good job at stopping the paint penetration, and that's going to be a big thing that we talk about later. But what you do leave open is a guaranteed bucket when you leave someone like Victor Wembanyama uncovered on his way to the rim. Coming out the game like this instantly set the tone, and you could immediately tell it was going to be a long night after he came down the floor to receive the ball back, and no matter how much contact he felt from Jaden McDaniels on this attempt, he made it look easy when completing the and one.
And then on the other end, getting an and one and going to his...
Putting up 39 points, 15 rebounds and 5 blocks on 72% shooting from the field and 60% from deep is not easy, but what it is majorly impactful. Due to his presence, the Spurs guards can play guys tighter along the perimeter, as if they are to get blown by, it's really not that much big of a deal, and it may seem like there's an open window for McDaniels to get his shot off. And hey, against any other defender in the league, that may be true, but against Wemby, it's a whole different game. On the defensive end, Wemby is always altering plays, whether it comes from tipping a pass initially, to then re-enter the play to send Jaden McDaniels shot off the glass. And with the offensive players so worried about those blocks, you'll see times where in this case, Randle could take this floater at the front of the rim. But Wemby just being there makes him lob it to Gobert to avoid a block, only for Gobert to tip it right back to him for Wemby to eventually block it anyways. Having a guy like this during the playoffs does wonders for your entire team, and it's not just on the defensive end where he alters the game. During any time, and trust me, I mean any time during an offensive possession, you can pretty much just throw it up to Wemby, especially if he has a mismatch like this, because let's just be honest, he's the only guy who can make conversions like this look like a piece of cake. The Wolves all series long have tried to combat Wemby in ways such as playing physical with him, but they soon find out that literally nothing works. Now, this isn't to say that Wemby can't ever be stopped, because he can, but when he's operating with the ball like this to then nail the fade over Gobert, he certainly is unstoppable in this moment.
Victor Wembanyama.
Rudy did everything.
Let's all just think about something. When is the last time we seen someone 7'4" burst to the rim against another 7-footer, and when met with some contact at the rim, he doesn't just lose control or just throw the ball up? Wemby, well, he just kisses this right off the glass. I know, we've barely seen things like that. And it's not that it's such a crazy play, it's more that it's someone of his size having control of himself, but also of the entire game like this, and it's not just from the inside either. When talking about that control of the game, Wemby first directs this play, stays unfazed by the contact from Gobert, and when you go under the screen against a guy who isn't afraid of the moment, this is what happens.
Wembanyama three, good!
There is
What a hit out!
The Wolves truly have a Wemby problem that needs to be addressed quickly or things will get out of hand. On both ends of the floor, he's making the game look effortless. And when you watch the Spurs, I think the most crushing thing for opposing teams is that Wemby doesn't have to do things by himself. Across the entire roster, there are guys who can impact the game in multiple different ways, and they all do so while having amazing chemistry with one another. A lot of people may undervalue it, but when it comes time for the postseason, it's not just about how much skill a team has combined. It's really about how you can use that skill with the chemistry you've created. Like on these times where Castle comes off the pick and roll and Wemby isn't available, well, the play could shut down if Wemby was the only guy everyone trusted. But since the Spurs can lean on anyone, Champagnie is now a great target since his man went to go help on Wemby rolling to the rim, and bada bing, it's money team.
Cross-court corner, Champagnie three, good! Big time stroke.
This here is what I mean by using everyone's skill and having chemistry. Because with Champagnie catching fire in the third, he's the perfect person to run a pick and pop with Fox. Because if the defense stays with Champagnie, well, Fox has a perfect attack angle to go to the basket. But on the other hand, if the defense commits to Fox heavy on the drive so he can't score inside, well, here's where you give up another tray ball. This perfect combination of three-point shooters and guys who can drive to the basket gives the Spurs a smooth flowing offense that can generate tons of different looks on the floor, and it's extremely special as many guys can act as the playmaker for their offense. Of course, we all know that Fox is going to be the main guy finding guys slicing to the rim within the offense, but then you also have guys like Castle who can make multiple guys collapse on him to then set up teammates. And you have Dylan Harper, who plays at such a pace for a rookie that he can make a defender bite fully on his attack to then dish it off on the backside for the finish.
Double, gives it up Cornette, and he puts it in.
So basically, the Spurs always have someone who can 1. Get inside the paint, but 2. Can read the floor to find guys in good positions to score. And just when you think things are over with, there's always someone on this team who will catch fire in one of these games that you didn't plan for. All of this goes back to when I was talking about chemistry. When you have a team of guys who aren't selfish, they always look for the best look and don't care who scores the most on any given night as they just want to win the game, this is when you can get a team who can do great things. When you check the box score on any given night, you can see multiple guys are in double digits, and when you actually watch the game, you can see the connectivity this team has. You tell me, do you think the Spurs are going to close out the series soon, or will the Timberwolves fight back?